Good morning, children. Myself name P.S. Tiwari from LP Savani Vidya Bhavan. We will continue with the subject OC, Organization of Commerce. Let's start. Yes, children. So in last lecture we have done organization, meaning, definition, concept and characteristic. In today's lecture we continue with the steps of organizational process and the structure of organization. Total 5 types of structures are there. All we will discuss in detail. So let's get started. Yes, children, on your screen you can see the steps in organizing process or organization as process. Fine. Here are the steps. First, fixing the objective. Second, identifying activity, that is work, which is required for achieving the objective. Third, grouping the similar activity. Fourth, defining responsibility of each employee. Then, delegating authority to employee. Then, defining authority relationship between superior and subordinate. Seventh step, providing employees all requirement for achieving the objective. And the last stage is coordinating efforts of all the achieving of the objective. Now, children, the first stage, while you are organizing something, that means the concept is basically involved with the group of the people. 2 or more people are included in the particular aspect for achieving a common goal. Here, after following these stages, will continue the organization process, and this is the scientific process. According to the Peter F. Drucker, he told that if we will not formulate a proper organizational process, then it will be not sustained for long term, and hence the unit is slowly destroyed. So this is the compulsion to follow the stages which you can see right in front of you. So the first stage is fixing the objective in organization. This is the group activity. So first of all we have to know about the proper objective. Before formation of organizational structure, it is necessary to have the defined goal and its proper understanding. The main and the subject goal should be properly interpreted, and on the basis of which organization is formed. Hence, the establishment of proper goal and with proper clarity is the first step towards the proper organization. Fixed the objective is the first step of organization. Then, next step, identifying the activity. We are supposed to identify the activity which you require to perform to achieve an objective. After finalizing the objective, our second step is to identify the activity which is required to achieve the objective. We'll plan accordingly, we'll list the function, and on that basis we'll perform our duty, our task. After having clearly defined goal with the help of organizational structure, the list of work to be done in prepared. At the time of preparing such a list, it is ensured that not a single task is left or it repeated, and a special care is taken for the same. Hence, the list of functions should be prepared on the basis of its proper consideration, and the final distribution of the work has been done. Then the third step is grouping the similar related activity. Here you are supposed to grouping the similar activity will bifurcate the group according to the departmentation of function. According to departmentation of function, will analyze the grouping activity. Once when the list of function is prepared, the work areas similar in nature are classified and similar function are placed together. Then the division of work is done accordingly. Work is divided as per the purchase area, sales area, account area, etc. And then work division and specialization is planned. The division is planned according to the nature of unit. Geographical area, work area, etc. will include. Then, fourth step, defining responsibility of each employee. Defining responsibility. Then we are supposed to analyze which kind of responsibility. Responsibility meanwhile duty. Which kind of duty we are allocating to the employee. According to their ability, will allocate the position to them. Will allocate the position to them. And on that basis, they will perform their duty. Then delegation authority to employee. Then we'll give them authority. Authority meanwhile power. Then we'll provide power to the employee for accomplishing the responsibility, for accomplishing the duty to achieve a common goal. It is compulsion to delegate the authority to our employee. On that basis only they can perform. Then next step is defining authority relationship between superior and subordinate. Then we are supposed to defining the authority. There is a relation between the superior and subordinate. Superior, middle level of management, subordinate, bottom level of management. So we'll know about the interrelation between the same with the help of organizational step. Will maintain the harmonious relation between them for accomplishing common goal. The next step is providing employee all requirement for achieving the objective. Then we have to provide proper requirement material to our employee for accomplishing the objective, for achieving the objective. All requirements for achieving the objective, we have to fulfill the same. Then the last stage is coordinating efforts of all the achieving the objective. Prepare the organizational chart. On that basis, in order to enable the people to have the perfect idea of each one's position, a proper map should be prepared. Such a chart should be properly prepared and the same should be displayed on the notice board. And it will help out for the coordinating efforts of all the achieving objective by all the separate departmental heads. In this way, a group of people can achieve a common goal after following this scientific step of organizational process. Then children, here are the structure of an organization. Total 5 structures are there according to your 12th board syllabus. First, linear organization. Second, functional organization. Third, formal organization. Fourth, informal organization. And fifth, matrix organization. All this we learn in detail. Let's get started. See children, with the help of this chart, you all can come to know about the linear organization. Here, the CEO will control the manager, production department and manager of marketing department. Then they will control the foreman, that is fabrication and assembly part. Similarly, the manager for the marketing department will control the sales officer, again the sales officer. Now, under the foreman fabrication, who will work? Worker. Similarly, under assembly foreman, worker will work. Then the managers in marketing managing department, sales officer will get the work done through salesperson. Fine. In this linear way, we are performing our task in linear organization. Step by step you can see. Board of director will guide to general manager. He will guide to the departmental heads. Departmental heads will guide to their subordinates, that is to their foremen, and then they will get the work done from their workers, salesmen, employee, etc. The work will smoothly move on in linear organization. The greatest power is seen with the board of directors. They take policy-based decision. Then the general manager is assigned necessary power from them. The general manager is the main administrative head in linear organization, whose work is to ensure that the lower employee follow the task and decision taken by the board of directors. With the help of this chart, you can see the division of work. Here you can see the two divisions, that is production department and marketing department. Like that, you can take example of sales department, administrative department, budgeting department, finance department, etc. As per the important work in the each department, purchase, production or sales officer, etc. are appointed. According to the departmental work, officers are supposed to be appointed. Such officers carry the entire responsibility of their own section. They are supposed to take the responsibility of their own section. Under such officers, supervisors, foremen, clerk, etc. are to be appointing. Under the foreman, workers are supposed to work. In this way, the linear organization ensures power from top to bottom and the responsibility flow on from bottom to top. Again repeating, in linear organization, the power are supposed to move top to bottom and the responsibility flows from bottom to top. Such kind of structure is more favorable where there is a small size of organization. This linear organization is useful where you can see the small size of organization. The work area is also limited and the problem of control discipline are also limited. Then only this linear organizational structure of organization is acceptable. Then let's switch towards the functional organization. Here is the functional organization. Linear organization gives more importance to department than work. This is the great limitation of this kind of structure. Fine. Like linear, which we have discussed previously, that was a limitation, having a great limitation because they are most probably focusing on their department, not for their work. So keeping this point in mind, we have introduced the functional organization. What is going on in the functional organization, you can look after through this chart. Here the chief officer, you can see the president, under whom you can see the separate department. Under separate departmental manager, you can see the worker, those who are working under them. R&D manager, then finance manager, marketing manager, then division product. Under R&D manager, you can see the sub workers. Design, related with design, related with development, related with testing. Under finance department, accounting, purchasing, finance. Under marketing, sales department, customer service. And division of product, line supervisor, production terms, that is production team, and distribution. Like in functional organization, in this way they are working. Let's come to the textual part. When we are supposed to formulate the functional organization, function organization gives special importance to the work distribution. Here, see, in the finance manager department, accounting officer will do his work according to the division of work. In linear organization, most probably they are giving importance to the department, but here we are giving more importance to the work. So the accounting officer will do his work. Sales officer will do his work. So here we are categorizing the work according to their specialization. In this structure, the distribution of work is done according to the department, but according to the nature of work also. For each kind of work, different experts are appointed. Yes. In the second stage, according to the different manager, you can see for each kind of work, different experts are appointed. Such experts are not only advisor, they are also administrative head who are fully responsible to the task assigned to them. They are not just an expert, they are supposed to observe them, work them, make them understand the task, assign them work, and observe them at the same time. You can take the example of purchase officer. He is fully responsible for all type of purchase work. As you can see, finance manager is fully responsible for work related with accounting, purchasing and finance. Similarly, marketing manager are fully responsible for sales and customer services. In this organizational process, the supreme power is there in the head of chief officer, in the hand of president. As per the chart given, the unit can be divided in 4 subcategories, but in your textbook it is divided into 2 subcategories. For understanding the same, you can list out the activity which is assigned to them according to the different officers. According to this, each officer can give order to the employee under him to perform the task. It should be considered that not a single work remains unassigned, and at the same time not a single work is assigned twice. This is also their work to notify. Organizational unit in which there is a more variety to be seen in work. This kind of structure is more favorable. Functional organization is most favorable because we are giving importance to the work, not to the department, and by that we can observe them accordingly. Now let's go to the formal organization and informal organization that I am going to reflect with the help of difference between. Yes children, here you can see the difference between formal organization and informal organization. Now see, first difference in formal organization is it planned and created deliberately. Formal organization, we are planning in advance and we are supposed to create deliberately. In informal organization, it is unplanned and originate automatically. Here, we are not supposed to plan. Automatically, we are supposed to create this kind of relation. Second one, informal organization. The structure is well defined. In informal organization, there is no clear-cut structure. There is no clear-cut structure because we are not finalizing. This is the unplanned activity. Then the third one, authority flows from top to bottom. Yes, formal organization, authority. Powers are supposed to flow from the top to bottom. In informal organization, authority flows vertically as well as horizontally. In both the way, authority flows. Then fourth one, communication has to follow informal channels. In informal organization, there is no fixed pattern of communication. Verbal, non-verbal, oral, written, anything is possible in informal organization. But in formal organization, we have to follow a formal channels. Then fifth one, manager chooses the leader of the department. In formal organization, manager are supposed to chooses as a leader. In informal organization, leaders are chosen by the group member. Leaders are chosen by the group member with whom they are comfortable, they are select them as a leader. Then the sixth one, formal organization. The relationship of the people in formal organization is impersonal. The relation of people in formal organization is impersonal. While in informal organization, the relation between the people in informal organization is interpersonal. They are communicating with each other interpersonally. Then the seventh one is formal organization are usually stable, informal. While informal organization stability don't last for long. You can say that in formal organization, you can say that informal is the subcategory of formal, but there is no place of formal in informal organization. That also you can include. Then last one, it has the predetermined objective. Yes, it is plan activity. Deliberately we are doing the same. So predetermined objective is there in formal organization. Well, in informal organization there is no predetermined objective because this is an unplanned activity. Automatically we are creating the same. So there is no predetermined objective. Fine. Formal structure, now textual term, formal structure is lacking flexibility because no change. Delegation of power are from upper to lower. Yes, that we have already discussed. It follows in large size. Formal organizational structure is follows in large size business. We can create a particular relation. We can create a particular relation, that is impersonal relation. The communicational method must follow formal method only. There is no place of informal organization. Then come to the informal organization. This is totally based on human behavior, human relation. If you want to do any kind of flexibility, yes, it is possible, ever changing. Informal structure is ever changing. Then the fourth one is universal. Universal, informal structure is universally accepted. In formal communication, you can accept oral, written, verbal, non-verbal, anything. Most probably, it is useful for the small size of group. It is having a lack of control because you are giving authority to your subordinate to speak up in front of you. So there is a lack of control. Then informal organization, this you can include as a conclusion point. Informal organization is a complement to the formal structure. This is the complement. By using the same, you can maintain your formal structure as well. So that is why your informal organization considered as a complement. Then, yes children, here you can see the matrix organization. Fine. This matrix organization is a modern kind of organization which has two different types of structure. One is the simple kind of structure which forms the part of decision making, and the second one is the technical problem solution based, which is called project structure. Now, with the help of same, the combination of both this result in matrix organization you can see. Hence, the matrix organization is the modern organization. This type is involving the work-based and the project-based peculiarities. In this type of organization, the specialized work need for giving benefit. At the same time, project management benefit are also obtained. It is a multi-phased structure. You can see the different structure here. Fine. We are giving importance to the project itself and plus our departmental heads also. With the help of this design, you can come to know that in matrix organization, we find the combination of work based on project In this type of organization, each project manager is giving different type of work. As you can see, project 1 manager, project 2 manager, project 3 manager, like that. As many project manager are appointed as per the number of project. How you are hiring the manager? On the basis of the number of project. The responsibility of the project manager is to successfully complete the project assigned to them. They have to accomplish the objective which is assigning to them. He is also responsible to complete it on time. The expert from different staff member are obtained from different work area. Such kind of selected expert are divided into different group. Business analyst manager, development manager, quality assurance manager. You can see the subcategory. This kind of expert are obtained from different work group. Yes, you can see the different work group. Once when the work is done, they are sent to their respective work area to which they belong. In your textbook, production, purchase, engineering, research and development, this kind of subcategory has given. In matrix organization, with the help of this diagram, it is clear that matrix organization, the flow of authority is double fold. Here you can see the double fold. For example, the general manager from upper level passes on the project head to lower level in linear manner. Okay. It is also mentioned here that all the project head function independently. They obtain experts needed by them from different work group or area. Project manager 1 correlate with business analytical manager, developmental manager and quality assurance manager also. Project manager 2 also can correlate with 3 expert. Project manager 3 also correlate with other 3 departmental manager. That is totally depending upon the type of work. After giving the advice, they can go back to their department. This type of organization is favorable where it is necessary to combine technology with function. Where it is used, the matrix organizational structure most probably used when there is a combination of technology with function. Technology with function. So children, with the help of above categorized thing, today we have learned the steps of organization and different structure of organization which include linear, functional, formal, informal and matrix. I hope so you all have understood the same. And next point will continue in next period. Fine. Thank you for the day, children.